So here's a funny story. We said a lot of stuff.
Lay a little bit this way.
Oh,
Like, make sure.
we go.
Yeah, that's good.
We said a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff wasn't heard.
So this is if there's anyone watching this and wants to be my assistant to help me with these podcasts because it's difficult running two cameras and like getting tattooed and trying to like entertain this man of conversation. So I mean we said a lot of good stuff. Like, we were talking about like how did Shaun find himself in this industry, and we were talking about like so maybe you wanna say it again like where you started in terms of like selling art and all of those things.
Yeah.
How
So
did you start? How did you become a tattoo artist?
what happened was the first attempt trying to get into the industry wasn't all that easy. And I know, this is a shout out to those people that do reach out trying to get into the industry. It's not that we're trying to turn you away or anybody's trying to turn you away. I'm not saying that it has to be hard. The stars align if you work hard enough, you know what I mean? Like I said before the camera went off as well.
Yeah, we have some good stuff, guys. Yo.
Like I said, talent will get you into the room, but hard work will definitely get you to the top. So try, don't give up. If you've been turned down many a times, there was a time I thought, wow, I'm not going to get anywhere. Like I felt like I'd worked hard enough and felt that I wasn't going to get in. And that desperation, that time of desperation actually pushed me to try to get the best for myself. But
Wow.
I didn't get into the industry at first. And then I focused on drawing because I thought to myself, if I'm going to focus on drawing, if I'm going to get good enough, there's no way that a studio can turn me away. There's no way that a studio can say no if I feel that in terms of art, I'm doing good enough. You know what I mean? I don't know what enough is, but whatever my gauge was, I thought I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
And I started to fall in love with the fine art industry and focused on fine art, exhibiting with establishments such as North and universities and things like that. And it also got to a point where I realized that with every industry, there's something, you know, every industry has its bad side. And unfortunately, being gullible, being slightly naive, I didn't think that the fine art industry had any sort of dark side. And when I discovered
You thought there's nothing but beauty and art.
yeah, I thought it was like just art and like, you know what I mean? And then when I discovered that there was a slightly dark side, definitely humbled me. And in that moment, I reached out to Ricardo from Descriptive Art Collective. Very appreciative of the opportunity that he gave me. Amazing guy, amazing man. Amazing teacher as well, a mentor. He mentored with my mentors. And he gave me an opportunity. He told me that if your work is what it seems on Instagram, come through. Let's see if it looks like that in real life. And if it is that, then we'll make a way for you. And they definitely went out of their way to make a way for me. And I really appreciate that.
You know what I think it was? Maybe them relating to their struggle.
Exactly.
You know, because I remember like, Rick, back in the day when that homie was tattooing, like, I think everybody had a tattoo from Rick at some point.
Everybody still has a tattoo from Rick.
That homie has tattooed like half of
Cape Town, yeah. Straight
tattooed
up.
by Rick, but yeah, nah, man, like,
Amazing.
that was gone before you, bruh.
Definitely.
So
I mean, he is one of the big heads in this country.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that he is my inspiration for composition. There's no one in the world that I can honestly think of that does composition like him. It's very unique, very inspirational, very new.
Yeah.
He's the middle child of, I'd say, the tattooing industry right now, in my opinion, being tied in with the old. He has a very classic style, but definitely a fresh take. The way that I would describe it, I don't know if he would describe it this way, because obviously he would speak for his own art.
Yeah.
He has a very, very modern Chicano style that I love.
So true. I've never
seen it anywhere else.
Here's the mad part is you saying things that my brain is thinking. How are you doing that?
Hey man, there's no such thing as coincidence.
You said it. You said
No
it.
such thing.
You said it, bro. So how did you? So like in terms of like your mentorship and like process, how long did that take you to become like this designer who's just drawing out of his eyeballs to like giving him the chance?
So a lot of the time spent, although my apprenticeship was short-lived, thank you to Rick and Ted for having the trust in me to push me to skin so quickly. I also had personal things pushing me, so I put a lot of pressure on them to teach me, constantly teach me, and I was constantly sitting with him, watching them, and asking questions and doing what I could to hopefully expedite the process of tattooing. And it didn't take me a long while. A lot of theory was spent. I spent more time on theory, learning about tattooing and the theory behind it, than actually practicing.
Yeah.
I did practice, but I feel that a lot of what I did before in terms of drawing helped a lot with my progression in tattooing. It moved me
Yeah.
a little quicker. You know what I mean?
Like you said, nothing is a coincidence, you know.
Nothing is a coincidence, yeah. And I feel that, especially in the times we live in now, it's quite taboo in certain parts of the world, where certain people, there's academies that teach people for 2 weeks. There's academies that teach people for 6 weeks. There's people that do apprenticeships for years. You know, I'm not saying that any way is right, any way is wrong, because you're speaking to newer artists and they'd say, why do I have to go through 2-3 years of an apprenticeship when people are doing it in 2 weeks? And for me personally, I can only speak from my personal experiences. I feel that an apprenticeship is very important because it teaches you to appreciate.
Yeah.
Appreciate not only the craft, but the stage that you're at before getting to a point that you want to be. You know what I mean? It's more so about the appreciation. And a lot of young artists attach the apprenticeship only to the theoretical and physical act of tattooing, when it's more than that. It's everything and that.
Spot on.
Yeah, it's the appreciation, it's the gratitude that you need to learn.
Yeah. I said in the last season, in the last podcast, the last season of the podcast I did was, everything is process, man. And you know what? You know the problem is everyone is so focused on a destination.
Yeah.
I like to believe that the actual purpose is the journey.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's a goal and there's an end line, if you must call it anything.
Yes.
But like if you are so focused on the end line, you've like missed it.
Exactly.
And I think what you're saying is like in apprenticeship, that's exactly that.
Yeah. You're trying to get into skin, you're trying to tattoo so much that you don't enjoy the process of becoming a tattoo artist. I always say that to Laurent. Laurent is an apprentice that works at our studio at
Shout out,
Laurent.
Shout out.
Shout out Saint Laurent, check him out. Very promising, very talented. And I always tell him like an apprentice, I had my times where I would vent. I would go to my wife or go to people that I love, and I would speak and I'd say, yo, this is hard. Like, why this and why this? Not taking any love from my mentors, but you're young, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you learn.
Really
You know what I mean? I try to humble myself as much as I can, but I did have moments where I was like, what is going on? Like, how is this supposed to go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would tell Laurent a lot, like, appreciate what's going on. I know this is shitty right now, what you're going through, and it feels like it's hard and you feel pressured, but like enjoy it, because you're gonna look back one day and you're gonna be like, wow, like remember when I was crying about that thing, but now look where I am. You know what I mean? Look at how strong I've become, and we perpetuate that. And then when someone new comes in, you'll be teaching that person, and you understand. You know,
It is a pass down of knowledge at the end.
It is.
It is.
I like that the industry still like that. I like that there's the terms for graduation hasn't completely been laid out. It hasn't been clarified. So it still relies very much on whether or not someone wants to teach you and take you through that process.
Wow. Would you say Laurent is your apprentice? How do you like?
He's AJ's apprentice.
How does someone get the sign? Do you like go like, I'm ready to be the master? Young grasshopper.
The thing is, there's, again, with a lot of tattooing, I could decide in year one that I want to teach someone. Doesn't mean it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
Anyone being like, oh, what are you saying? Like, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, in private, by all means, if I was at home tattooing out of my garage and I decided, hey, I want to teach someone, no one's gonna stop me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you should know
There's
it.
no like tattooing academy police.
Yeah. So you should know.
What are you doing in here?
But I do feel that when it gets to a point where you feel like you've waxed your process good enough, and you feel that you can pass that on to someone who's younger, then I do think it is nice to take that step. Also, when you do feel that your cup spilleth over, you know what I mean? You are able to share more.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not at that.
I was also, where's your cup at?
Yeah, my cups are like halfway. My cup's halfway. I say that honestly to AJ quite recently as well. Him and I spoke when I came to Tools of Trade, and leaving my previous studio, I was a junior artist, and coming here to Tools of Trade, I was more of a senior artist because AJ and I are more tenured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And for me,
tenure is the tenure, and I was with a gun in hand. I guess is your.
I suppose machine. Let me educate you as well.
Sorry.
Machine. No guns.
We are here.
We know gun violence.
Education. That's what it's about.
Yeah, only machines. It's a machine.
Machine.
But yeah, I came here and I spoke to AJ about it as well. And I told him like, bro, you need to understand, I'm here to learn from you. You are long in the industry, and yes, in terms of skill set, it's helped me a lot drawing, and it's helped me in terms of what one would hope that someone at 3 years would be tattooing like and things like that. But I do definitely still lack in experience. That's just reality. So I would love to learn from you still.
Wow.
That's something that I said to him when I came here. I'm still a student. I'm always a student.
Sure. Now I hope like you always keep that mindset.
No, it's always been my life.
Oh man, like you know what it is like. If you carry the attitude that you've never made it, like you will surpass yourself, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I'm trying my best to actually stop having opinions of things. Like you know how much life we cut away when someone steps to you and you think you know better than them.
Exactly.
Like how much learning you actually throw in the bin.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Shoot yourself in the foot because you're just out here going, oh well, I know what's better, so
Yeah,
I'm not gonna listen to you because your opinion doesn't matter.
exactly.
Where like if we can just like get to a space where we all just like learn at all times.
It's the ego, man.
It's
all ego, facing ego all the time. Every time, especially you're grown, man. And when it does come to learning something like tattooing or even videography now, you have to you have to become a child again.
Sure.
And it's
Having it though.
and watch how people, especially if you're the type of person that can go and be like, teach me, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Watch how people around you will be like, wow,
Yeah.
he actually has the confidence to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people face the ego and it stops them from learning so much and becoming better people themselves while they are ironically trying to chase that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
And
always stay a student.
And you know what it is like? People lose it because I know some videographers in the industry that were so like stuck on their current craft that they don't evolve.
Yeah.
And I think that evolution comes with going, I don't know.
Yeah, there's growth in discomfort.
Yeah.
There's growth in discomfort. You can look at anything. Some of my saddest moments in my life are the happiest moments of my life because now, in hindsight, when I look back and I look at what I have achieved in the moments where I thought I would never get out, you know, those moments when something happens in your life and it feels so cold. It's like when you are warm.
I don't get out of
Yeah, it's like I always equate it to, it's like when you're warm and you step out into the cold.
Yeah.
I like to sometimes open my hoodie or stand in a t-shirt in the cold because there's something about the cold that brings you back to the present. When you're getting cold, it's like, yo, I can feel this cold. I'm here right now. You know what I mean? And bad moments in life, in most cases, for me personally, it feels like that. I'm very sober when bad things are happening. You know what I mean? Because you're like, wow, this isn't how I wanted. That's unfortunate. You should be. That's where gratitude comes in, and practicing gratitude. It's being aware of the great moments as well.
Yeah.
But now when I look back at my worst moments, it's like, yo, I can see how I grew.
Yeah.
I can see how I was.
How good was that bad moment?
Yeah, you know what I mean? How good now you can smile because I survived first. It's like a nightmare. Waking up in the morning, you're happy.
Yeah.
But I can see the person that I can see what that broke and what it built.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it didn't, but who would you have been?
Ooh, it would, yeah. And that's something that AJ tells me a lot. He'll always tell me is like, if you don't learn something at level 1 and you skip it, and you move on to level 3 somewhere along the line at level 12, then level 1 is going to come up again and you still don't know level 1, so now you got to go through it again. And I mean, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that's what it does. You're going to learn. You're going to learn.
You are spitting some fire. Tell me quickly, talking about learning and stuff. Have you ever gone in any moment gone like, actually, I made a mistake of a decision. I should not be tattooed.
I mean, like last week.
Well, were you with me this morning driving to work when I was crying? What is happening?
Yeah, were you with me? Like life has its ups and downs, and like there's it's all. Oh, I want to be an artist and be free until you have to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Then it's like, holy shit, this art needs to make money for me, you know? Like, I need to survive. So, like, it's all fun and games, and I'm an artist and free until you need to pay your bills.
Yeah, and it's not actually the daily bills for me, it's the surprise bills.
Yeah, exactly.
It's those ones that sober you quickly.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I need to do something, yeah.
Yeah, because I like to believe that nothing in life is promised and security is a lie.
Yes.
Like when you, like a lot of people will go like, oh, well, I've got a stable job. I'm like, yeah, I was actually telling,
Stable in this moment.
it's stable in this moment, but I was actually talking earlier to, what is both the parents? I didn't get their name.
So it's Laurent and it's Keaton.
Is Lauren tattooing right now?
Yes.
So I was chatting to them earlier and I was telling them like, what's really insane is that people go like, my job
Can I ask you to look that way?
Yeah, sure. They tell me my job security, right? They talk about this
Yeah.
term like, I've got a secure job, I get that bag every month.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
For the soup. Oh yes. Yes. Okay, cool. I'll go down shortly.
Yeah,
Can we take lunch too?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, sure. Oh, we'll take lunch and then we'll come back a little bit later once we've tattooed a little bit further and stuff.
Yeah.
So perfect timing actually. So I was actually saying, I was telling them, you know what? It's so weird. Like people go job security, but like at what's the cost? Because if you look at your day job, someone who works in corporate day job, they hate their job, but they got security in their salary. So they work through depression to earn money, right?
Yeah.
Versus you might not be getting paid stably. So you have that uncertainty on paying bills, but you are waking up and you are doing exactly what the inside
Exactly.
is tingling to do.
Exactly. If not this, then what?
Then what? So for me, the crazy part is either way, bruh.
Either way,
Either way.
high risk, high reward. Either way.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
The thing is, it's gonna, like I said, last week, like, you could think I'm joking, and the thing is, you have days every other day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends what standard you hold yourself to.
Yeah.
When you ask me, do I think this is for me? Is it from the perspective of, oh, something made me hate my job? Or I hold myself to such a high standard that I'm trying to achieve something,
Wow.
and I feel that I haven't achieved it. Is this for me? But
Wow.
I mean, sometimes we can be so self-critical that we stunt our own growth. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So
guys, are you listening to this? Someone please listen to this. Be inspired. Change your life, damn it.
no, for sure. Like I'm not just trying to. I'm using the limited time I have here to hopefully get someone to feel like, look,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in, where am I sitting? Northern Cape. I'm sitting in Grabo. I'm sitting in a place that is not as close to maybe Joburg or Cape Town, and I'm thinking I can never do it.
Yeah.
But like, what if you're the first person to do it there? What if you're the person to make Joburg, Cape Town, and Kimberley now a hub? You know what I mean? You can be that person.
But you gotta be that person to be that person, if it makes any sense.
If it's on this earth, it is possible. If it is here, it's here for you to take.
Yeah, spot on.
It's enough to go around.
My like I would call them my mentors or like people that I did the first podcast with.
Yes.
They said something that she
The DJ?
the DJ, yeah, Cherie.
Yes.
She showed the book, Rick Rubin's book, The Art of Being Creative or something like that. Man, since then, myself and a close friend of mine been like just listening to a lot of the stuff Rick Rubin says, and Shaun, like, dude, you gotta listen to it. There's a
You gotta
quote,
share that with me.
I will, dude, I will. There's a quote that he shares in the book that says, when you have an idea and you don't execute it, but you see someone else do the idea, that idea wasn't stolen, but the idea needed to be birthed, and it will find a way.
Yes, I heard something like that recently as well.
Find a way to manifest itself, if you want to call it anything.
Yes.
So like, stop sleeping, man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I heard something like that quite recently where someone said also, you know, in that time, how many times have you had it in your life where you've had an idea and you're like,
Bro.
oh, I should have done it, but then someone else does it 6 months later and you're like, yo, it's not that you birthed that idea alone, it's that in that time,
Yeah.
that thing was needed.
It needed to come out.
Yeah, and someone needed to do it.
Yeah.
And you didn't act. Not that you, the thing is when it comes to taking responsibility or taking accountability, there's a negative connotation associated with it because people feel like they should beat themselves up.
Yeah.
I mean, you fuck up every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to pour a cup of water and you spill a little bit, then you not just fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't beat yourself up about it. Or it depends. If you do, then you need to go get that checked out.
Yeah.
But
you gotta speak to somebody.
you gotta speak to somebody. If you're beating yourself up over spilled water,
It's a problem.
then you gotta get that checked out. Yeah.
problem, yeah.
But I feel like we should hold ourselves accountable like that as well with everything. If you're gonna mess up with something, then just be like, okay, cool. Wow, body. Wow, Shaun. I mean, you did that thing. It's fine. We can learn. There's a lot of chances, bro. There's a lot of chances.
I love that.
Never give up. It's cheesy.
But the most cheesy line, but like, oh man, never ever give up. Keep going.
Cliches and why are cliches always said? It's because so many people are saying it It's unanimous.
Yeah, there's reason.
There's a reason.
There's reason.
Yeah.
There's reason. Tell me quickly, when was that moment that this craft turned into your salary? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there moments when it's like,
Like,
do I feel
ooh.
like it's just a job?
Yeah. I mean, like that's a lot of people will leave the job with a passion. Like that, the passion ever become the job.
Yeah, it does. It does. Look, the thing is, with the exchange between client and artist when it comes to this craft, there's, as a professional, I'll push as much as I can. I mean, why would I turn you away if I was just chasing money? You know what I mean? If I'm turning you away or telling you, hey, go think about this some more, come back, like, let's work on this. I could easily just say, hey, come here, let me do your work, and yeah, take your money, go.
Yeah.
But there are moments when sometimes you fight, and you're like, wow, I've tried my best. I've said everything as straightforward as I can.
Yeah.
And, you know, you want it this way. It's not to say that I'll be like, okay, cool, fuck it, I'm going to do this bad tattoo. I won't, for myself personally, I won't do a bad tattoo because I don't want to go home with that on my conscience.
Yeah.
But if it is a subject matter, and this is something that I learned from Rick as well. I used to go to Rick when it got to a point where I was doing so many, I don't want to say the subject matter, but I did a certain type of subject matter a lot.
He doesn't want to say it because you have it on your body.
Look, I don't like to use the words overdone or too much, you know.
Can I take a swing at it? I'm gonna swing. I'm not gonna say one. I'm gonna say like three, and then you just say yes if it's one of them.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Just so people know, like these tattoos are done a lot. I'm gonna go first with
Okay.
compass. That's one. Compass
Yeah.
is one.
Okay.
2 is line probably. 3 is cross.
It's all of the above. All of but the nice thing about it also, and this is where AI comes in, and I implore any artist to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, every tattoo artist knows that there used to be this reference of a lion. You know that reference, the one of the lion opening its mouth,
Yeah.
and it's roaring and all of those type of things. There's a reference of a lion that we all know.
Yeah.
And before AI, there was only a set amount of references, right?
Yeah.
So you could only choose from that, unless I'm a fucking wildlife photographer,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go on a safari dive.
I got my own business.
Yeah, you know what? Or you know someone that does. You're gonna probably use some of the best, and the best has already been taken, or a lot of it has.
Yeah.
But with AI, bro, I haven't seen the same line reference in months.
Man,
It's
we are getting unique.
Honestly, and I know that yes, it's taboo, and people can ridicule me in the comments. Like, use the comment section to say something about it. It's fine.
How you feel about it?
How you feel about it? We can have the discussion, because it is a discussion that needs to be had.
Yeah.
But it's here, and it's here to stay.
Yeah.
So I'll rather use it as opposed to be used by it. You know what I mean?
You know, Shaun, what you're saying, right? I told my wife, I was chatting to her the other night. I feel like we're on the precipice of something new. Like,
It's already happening.
But like, you know what I mean? You're either gonna be like sleeping and watch it go by, or you're going to innovate. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you got the right mentality, my dude.
You have to. You have to adopt.
Yeah.
The thing is, like with my wife also, I mean, bless you, babe, bless you. When was it quite recently that I asked her to do something in terms of technology, man, like changing the channel to a different source.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how to change it. And I literally looked at her and I was like, babe,
You gotta learn this.
if you don't know how to change the
gotta-
input, we are at AI. we are not at
Something will change it
AD or
for you.
HDMI anymore. We at AI, girl. You need to learn. You need to learn. It's like,
The crazy part is we're actually at a point where you don't need to even plug HDMI in anymore.
you don't.
Your TV has it.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't need nothing plugged in. No sources, none of it.
We out here. You're just streaming now for your phone.
Facts.
You just
Facts.
what is that? AirPlay. I AirPlay so much at home.
Hey, but I agree with that because I have some ideas that I'm looking at the future, man, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be a part of it, and I want to
Yeah, for sure.
turn it into a weapon instead of like just ridiculing it because it's
Yeah.
not. Why can't you add your creativity to it? You know what I mean?
For sure.
Enhance the art through it.
Definitely.
That's mad. So where do you think our next 10 years of tattooing is gonna go?
I hope. Let me come back to the other thing that you asked about, also about classic tattoos or
Yeah.
some things that are overdone. And
Oh, I forgot we were
also,
talking about that.
yeah, and also where the salary and work is concerned.
Yeah.
So one thing I learned from Rick also, as I was saying with Rick, I used to go to him a lot, and I got to a point where I was literally tattooing so much of the subject matter that I went to him and I was like,
I don't want it anymore.
yeah, I went to him as a young artist, and I can imagine him being a tenured artist, hearing this young artist come to him, obviously having tattooed 20 times more what I've tattooed. I went to him and I said, bro, like, I've tattooed so much of this. Like, within the last 2 months, I've tattooed like more than my 2 hands, bro, of this thing. Can I please start saying no? And then he looked at me and he said, you know, I did one last week. And then I was like, yeah, I know, but he was like, bro, the thing is, that's your job. It gets to a point where, yes, it's been done a lot, but you need to figure out a way how to do it differently. You need to figure out a way to give it a fresh look.
Wow.
You need to find, if you're going to be doing it the 20th time, then that 20th time needs to be better than the last time every single time. You need
It's your blessing that you get in the
you can, if it's the 50th lion, let's say, your 50th lion needs to look so much better than your first one if it's your 50th. You know what I mean?
You actually got art comparison. You can watch yourself.
Yeah, you have this opportunity to reinvent the same wheel. So that made me feel, that gave me the endurance, let's say, to do more of what I don't like. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah. I mean, that's just, it is a salary sometimes, but if it is a tattoo that I don't necessarily like, I'm still going to give you the best. I'm still going to give you the best that
I
I
have some good insight, man. Like, you know what? Stop turning down opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make the opportunity work for you. That you are happy and the person is happy.
I was just about to say now, and we're in the business of making people happy.
Yeah.
So, like, make people happy, man.
Yeah, man.
Can you look that way?
I
Sharply.
can. Oh, man. So tell me about the next 10 years, where you see it.
Oh yeah, 10 years. So tattooing in South Africa is, I think it's growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And I think social media has a lot to do with that. Social media has ushered in, how do I say, an urgency from our industry. Obviously, seeing what's happening overseas, we're exposed to it now. And people are now trying their best to push the boundaries of tattooing in South Africa, which I'm glad for. We are still behind to an extent, but I don't think it necessarily stems from tattooing and us wanting to learn more. I do think that South Africa as a whole, from a cultural perspective, and I'm not talking individual cultures within every language or within every subcategory of, culture. I'm talking about being a South African. Being a South African, you are, how do I say this? I don't want to say you stuck in old ways, but we have old beliefs here.
Yeah.
A lot of our ways of believing is very traditional, very much like the ways of our parents. And that's where I feel we definitely show that we are not first world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is to our detriment, and it is definitely in our favor also.
Yeah.
For example, the naivety that came with COVID. You know this when I speak about this. And I know COVID is a terrible thing to also discuss, but I'm talking more so about the perception from a South African. Yeah. When I saw those videos coming out of China, there was this feeling of, yo, that's tough in China, but it's not going to come here.
Meanwhile.
Obviously. Meanwhile, you know what I mean?
He's on the flight home already.
Yeah, and that why I'm saying that is to kind of hopefully people can relate with this when they say that in most cases, as a South African, you feel like an audience member. You feel like you're just watching the world do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially with a lot of things that are happening, not only in South Africa now, but around the world where South Africa is concerned, we are also being introduced to the party now. And I don't know if I like it. I really don't know if I like it. Because now we can't just sit and watch. Now shit happens and we're like, oh my God, we gotta do things. You know what I mean? But that pressure is where we grow as well. And what I've seen in the tattooing industry, coming back to that, what it's done for the people that I know, blessed to know a lot of these people. Actually, I know all of them. I know all of the people that's pushing our industry now. I know a lot of them personally, and to see them doing what they're doing, I told AJ quite recently, I don't know how recent it is because being a tattoo artist, time just melts away.
Yeah.
But I told him quite recently, like, I'm so proud of him, seeing him doing what he's doing, because he needs to realize where he's at and where we are at. Like,
and what he's actually doing to the industry.
Every move you make is now changing the industry. You know what I mean? And it's like, what does Uncle Ben say? With great power comes great responsibility, right? So, like, as cheesy as that shit sounds,
it's for a reason.
It's for a reason. And there used to be a lot of novelty around South African tattoo artists traveling overseas. It used to be this like, oh, my artist went overseas. Whoa, it's like it's almost becoming normal now.
I was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's back? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? And who is responsible for that? This guy.
Yeah.
This guy and a lot of other tattoo artists that are doing it now are making it a norm for tattoo artists to travel overseas.
Spot on, man.
You know what I mean?
Spot on.
So,
It's such a good conversation with Asia. I won't spoil too much, but the man has like, hopefully I can be a part of the journey and kind of like, I'd like to capture it for him, as far as he goes, but the dreams he has, like to be a part of it.
yeah, I don't want to, I almost said something now, but I don't want to say what
Yeah, I know, he kind of hinted it at me. We spoke earlier. So I don't want to spoil alert. I'll leave that for him,
Yeah.
But mad stuff. Mad. But
things.
I love to see it, bro. I love to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, I think we're going to get some tattoo work done. We're going to have some food and then we'll come back to it and we'll finish up and you guys can see what the tattoo looks like at the end. What do you think, Shawnee?
Yeah, that sounds good. Catch you guys in a bit.
Wait. I just want to ask you a paar more questions.
Okay. Sorry, let's go back.
As like in terms of just wrapping it up.
Yeah, workshop, the real workshop.
No, I think we covered enough, like in terms of what this we spoke. The only thing I want to do, like 2 questions, just for wildness. Craziest tattoo you've done.
Craziest tattoo.
Craziest tattoo you've done.
Craziest tattoo I've done is on one of my favorite clients, actually.
And what is it?
Marsh. Hey, Marsh. Shout out. I did a Baphomet on him.
What is that?
Which for me, like, I didn't think that I would ever tattoo a Baphomet.
What is that?
It's a pagan god.
Oh. What does it look like?
You know it.
You know.
Everybody knows it. We all know it.
Oh, if I see that, like, oh.
But there's obviously interpretation and different meanings. So like all I'd suggest is do your research proper. And you can search how coffee can be bad for me. I'm not telling you to believe that it's good. I'm just saying do research, have a curious mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all. You don't have to believe everything. Just have a curious mind.
You say it's a tattoo that you never thought you would do and it actually made you think a little bit further?
Yeah, like I was honestly nervous the first time I did it. This is the first time it's coming out now, actually, Marsh. But like, yeah, I was actually nervous just for the sake of like the fact that I was doing a Baphomet tattoo. I was just like, whoa, yo.
Does it also mean now?
I don't even know. It was weird. I don't know. There's obviously an attachment to tattoos when you do a tattoo, right? Like it's me,
The meaning behind the reason you're getting it.
Yeah, it's me. I'm also doing it for you. So it's like I am the dealer of whatever it is that you are receiving, whatever is permanent to your body. I am responsible for it. So like for the meaning that I was used to for that tattoo had me questioning whether or not I wanted to do the tattoo. But then I did a little bit of research, and I'm not gonna get into it to the point where there's no way you can, how do I say, break it down to the point where anyone will be like, okay, cool, all I can say is you have to have an open mind, to look at it and understand.
I think it's part and parcel of your industry. You gotta have an open mind because people coming at you with different.
Yeah, and he's the most amazing person, one of the most amazing people I've ever met. So like, to know that the type of person he is attached to the type of tattoo that I, as a closed-minded person, if I were, would have probably judged in a different manner to tattoo that on him, especially the sleeve we're busy with, and know the type of person he is.
Yeah.
It allowed me to also look at things from the perspective of you can like things that people don't maybe necessarily understand and like, but that doesn't have to change you as a person. Yeah. And the reasons why I jumped into it and wanted to was because I'm a metalhead.
Yeah.
You won't say that usually if you hear the music I listen to here at the studio, the music I rap, the way
I think I knew that about you.
maybe you can tell on my Instagram page also. But
No, I think there was a homie that was just tattooing. Oh wow. Just had me go.
what's this now?
He showed me what the tattoo is.
Oh, did he show him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I knew that about you. I think the homie was still a new tattoo artist at Descriptive at the time. I can't remember his name now. He was still gonna tattoo me as well, but I couldn't select time on him for him. We were just starting, and the two of you were talking about some
Rodwin.
not the other one.
Brandon.
I think Brandon.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
What?
Yeah, Biza.
Pizza.
Biza.
Yeah,
Maybe Biza was here earlier.
so I kind of knew that about you as well.
Oh yeah. No, I prefer deathcore, but when you grow up as a metalhead, you probably defending your music in class or wherever you are when people hear it.
Devil's music.
Yeah, no, it's not, dude. It's like the lyrics are deeper and like, so but then you get older and you realize, I think this music is personal because I don't want to have to explain every song or every type of music choice, you know what I mean? So I can listen to what other people listen to and then I'll just keep my metal private.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about like music is actually connected to emotion and memory. So whatever that song was, you connected to a moment on how you were feeling and you'll always relate to that
Yeah.
for the rest of your life based on that.
The thing about metal is, it's so weird to describe it if you don't mind me going into a convo about that. Side note, sidebar.
Go for
The
it.
thing about metal is that I hear the way you describe it, but it isn't also that deep all the time. Sometimes it's more so.
Is what it is right now.
Yeah, there's science that shows that people that listen to metal are calmer because of the type of music they listen to. And that, I don't know how to describe that, but sometimes I can be feeling a certain way. Like, for example, you listen to a song, maybe in a rapping where it's like, oh, these haters did it. You can be listening to it, you're like, yeah, fuck these haters, bro. But like, when you listen to metal, sometimes the story that the guy's telling and he uses screaming to emphasize certain parts, you can feel that, but I'm not going to do it. And also, I'll be honest with you, and any metalhead knows this, the amount of violence that is portrayed in metal is way less than that in hip hop. I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing.
I get you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Hip hop is quite a. I was actually the other day I was so I fasted like secular music I think for about 30 days. Because I was like convicted on like it's almost a case of like I was unaware of what I was listening or repeating.
Yeah.
Based on like put a dope beat on it. And like everything is fine. You know what I mean? Like beat is dope, say whatever your heart desires, doesn't really matter. So like I just needed to like, be aware of what I was saying.
Exactly.
I'm saying things. So I can relate, bro. I can see why you say
Like
hip-hop is-
anybody who is a devout Christian, I can recommend an album. And if you have a curious mind and you want to go listen to this album, sit down with the lyrics, sit down with the album, and you tell me how you feel at the end of it. The album is entirely about this artist's relationship with God.
Wow.
It's by Memphis Mayfire. The album is called Unconditional.
I think I've heard about that.
Check them out.
I think I've heard
Check out the album. The album is literally a hand reaching down to another hand holding another hand. So it's like God reaching for
I
him.
think I've heard that, bro. I think
Amazing album, and you can arguably say you can say that it's a gospel.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But he screams. So like,
Hey, man.
you need to if you listen to metal and you are curious, you need to start listening to metal in terms of, how do I say, the harsh vocals are there to emphasize a certain part. So when he's speaking deep, especially about maybe times that he's felt like, oh, I don't have the power to achieve this thing, and when I feel like I'm in doubt sometimes, then you will like scream it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do it in a low tone to emphasize.
Yeah.
And then the singing part is like, but I got over it, and then you start singing like it's joyous, you know what I mean? I just think that it's the unknown that scares people. But anyway, coming back to the craziest tattoo that I've done, looking at it from that perspective of, I listen to metal, I'm misunderstood. Let me do some research, see what this is about, and then go from there is exactly the way that I took that tattoo.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gotten me one of the best clients that I have as well, you know? One of the most personable clients that I have.
Wow.
So, I mean, if I was closed-minded, I wouldn't have had him as a client.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mad, man.
crazy tattoo I've
Talking
done.
about clients and getting work. How does someone, if they smack some of your work and they want to get tattooed, how do you do that? Do I just slide into it? I know like tattoo artists go, do not slide into my DMs. I will not get back to you.
I like talking to my clients. I'm in a tug of war with how crappy I am at responding. It's like,
Standard procedure.
swear to God, like social media gives me anxiety.
He's not ghosting you guys.
I'm not ghosting you. It's literally just,
Or
like,
he is ghosting you, but it's not choice ghost. You know what I mean? He's not like going, ha ha ha.
it's also not who I am. It's what I do. And being a tattoo artist, it doesn't, like, people will inquire 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Sheesh.
Or
You can sleep. But the status dope, Shaun.
Yep. Yeah, and also you are talking to someone every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day you are talking to people on your phone that you literally have to put it down to opt out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, whole day you're working, the last thing you want to do is be replying to people when the time you're not working. So
Yeah, and I don't mean it in a bad way.
so then how does someone, like, what's the proper procedure?
You're more than welcome to email our studio. Our email is placed on every post that I make, and also
I'll slap it on you as well.
yes, sir. And also, it's on our shops page. That would be the most ideal way to reach out, and you'll be speaking to Gabby and
Gabs. Shout out Gabs.
Shout out Gabs.
Shout out.
We'll hook you up with a spot.
I love it. Alright guys, look, I think we'll wrap up once we have the finishing. So I want to show you guys what it looks like. So we can finish up on that part of it. So I think Shaun doesn't have too much more to do, and we can show you
Yes, sir.
how good it looks.
A little chirp. Made with AI.
Oh, they.
Shoo!
Yeah, I think it's a blood thing. It's also speaking.
Oh, there it is. I just want to put some witches on it.
It's all good. Guys, we're just gonna wrap up now. He's just giving me the soothe.
It's okay. I'll take it when I get it. So I suppose like
Ooh.
that day, but
Burns good. What do you guys think? So we didn't go for the full neck, but we got some future plans, right? Shaun? Shaun!
See what it looks like in the viewfinder, man.
I love
Nice, nice. That's good, bro.
Yeah, you know that is now. You set me up to want more. That's the problem I have here.
Yeah, we go build.
More focus on the. While looking at the design.
I'm gonna get him back into the lens in a bit just to like
But like,
inspire you. Wipe me down, sir. Sire.
Might be down.
So good.
yeah, that's why I want you to be like a close up.
See if I can get like a good angle so you guys, so you can see it. We're gonna get a picture of it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Yeah, I think close
you
up.
go like this and like this, and you can.
Yeah.
We're not alone in the stoop. We got some more peeps doing their things here. Yeah.
Is that us?
If you can see you, then it's you. Hey, what it do?
Then that's cool.
Hey, cool.
And then
Shaun, while you're wiping up here, just like close up, let the people know. If there's anything you could say to inspire young upcoming tattoo artists, creative, let them know, bro. It's your chance. Do your
young
thing, bro.
guys. I'm a young guy too. I'll tell you from my experiences for those younger than me or as young as me, and I mean a little older too. We're all young in this game. Stay forever young. Always be learning. Always don't. You're not too big for this. You're not too big for the game. Always make sure that you are teachable, personable in your approach when learning as well, and
never
make
made
up the most, you will learn the fastest. And also, please dedicate your time to traditional work. That's where you learn. Theory, like I said before, talent can get you into the room, but hard work will get you to the top. Definitely, definitely. Ask Cristiano Ronaldo.
They that evidence. Nah, I agree with him, and like our conversation was super dope today. Like I really enjoyed this. We got a lot more fun stuff coming.
It's great.
With AJ Hawking in the background, he's probably gonna be on the podcast list next.
And I'll be
The future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Season's boss.
Season
Finale.
the boss finale, the last fight. So yeah, guys, season 2, we're gonna be talking a lot more about like people in the workplace. You know, your craft is it's also your job, and how does it provide for you and all these things. So like, I hope it inspired you. We see you in number 2. Shaun, say bye, bro.
Amen.